Good morning, you guys. Karen Curry Parker here. Welcome to Thursday. And on Thursday, we talk about actually coaching with quantum human design. Now, I want to start today with a little bit of an apology. I really like to use Zoom and to broadcast from Zoom so I can show you slides. And I have this great presentation prepared for you today, but my internet in my house is really not up to par today. It's really not working. So I'm pivoting. I'm shifting strategies. So I have managed to catch a good phone signal outside my house because I don't have good phone signal in my house because it's a really old house and I guess it's not good for cell phones. And I've got if you can see here, I got my laptop on my desk and I am ready to get you started with this lesson and walk you through it without the slides, with the promise that I will post the slides for you later. So I apologize. And at the same time, I want to just say that, a lot of your business is going to be about pivoting. Business has twists and turns in it. I mean, look at our last year. How many of us in the last year really had to do some serious shifting and changing around the nature of your business, how you implemented your services, how you marketed your services, and those shifts and changes, those pivots that we make, keep us in the game. And it's essential that, when things go the way you didn't expect, when the tech fails, and I want to lovingly and gently say for you guys, be prepared for the tech failing, because it's going to happen, and it's going to happen either because of something in your house, in your modem, or, sometimes other bigger things happen. I started my coaching practice. When I first started coaching, we literally didn't have the internet. That was it was just starting. So I didn't have a web page. I didn't have all these things that we have. We didn't have social media. I was getting coaching clients by speaking. I was speaking at networking groups. I was speaking at business gatherings. I was speaking at moms groups because I was doing a lot of parent coaching at that time. So, there are lots of different ways to generate business. Don't think that you're locked into this. And you can even build a business without a website. You can build a business without a network. There's lots and lots of different ways to do it. So, the key element is always being prepared to pivot. And I tell everybody, have lots of different ways that you can connect with your clients. In our business, we have our social media platforms. We have an email database. I have snail mail addresses. If any of the platforms fail for whatever reason, or the tech fails for whatever reason, I am completely prepared to pull the trigger on plan B, plan C, and plan D. Now, I am a fourth line profile. So let me just say that when you are a fourth line profile, you need that stability, that certainty, and you don't like limbo. So fourth line profiles do tend to have backup plans and backup plans for their backup plans. And that's natural, that's normal. But that's a short rabbit hole that we just went down. So today's topic, we've been talking about on Thursdays, we've been talking about manifesting. We've been talking about the components of manifesting. We've been talking about how conditioning influences what we create. My intention today was to show you a little bit about how the mind works, the design of the mind, if you will, and how to really maximize the way in which our minds work so that we can, when we're coaching our clients, really support them in making significant mental shifts that can enhance their ability to really pull into their experience what it is that they need and want. But I have a really great slide presentation that goes with this that has some really beautiful visuals in it. In particular, it has some visuals around the torus field or the toroidal energy field. So I am going to do that part of the lesson later. Like I said, I'll try to upload the video. If I can't do it here, I'll drive to Starbucks and try to catch a good Wi-Fi signal outside in the parking lot. Or if not, I'll get Cindy to upload it for me. But today I thought instead we would just review and put together everything that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks on Thursdays. We, really syncing up for you that whole process of manifesting and creating. So we're going to start with just a quick review. And I'm literally going to kind of go through this sort of as a bullet list. And I want you to think about this in the context of coaching, because this is powerful information that you can give your clients. And when you can teach them and bring them into this understanding, it's going to give you some really solid actionable steps that you can give your clients to help them really enhance their experience of their human design. So there's the review. You ready? Good. And by the way, hi Emma, hi Chrissy, nice to see you guys. We'll get started. Step 1, your thoughts trigger the productions of neurotransmitters. So the things you think about actually create biological changes in your body, and most importantly, in your nervous system. The neurotransmitters that you create in response to the thoughts create specific emotional responses. So your thoughts create neurotransmitters that create specific emotional responses. So if you have happy thoughts, your brain produces neurotransmitters that create happy thoughts. If you have frustrated thoughts, as I have with my internet today, then your brain causes your body to experience the emotional theme or the emotional energy of frustration, courtesy of the neurotransmitters created in response to the experience. The third reminder, emotions are a frequency or vibration, a frequency of energy, they're a vibration. So emotional energy is a vibration, and we sense it, we feel it. Think about it. When you are hanging out with someone and you're talking to them, you can kind of sense how they feel. If they're having a great day, you can feel that feels very compelling and attractive. If they're struggling, if they're feeling emotional for whatever reason, you can sense that. Even if you're emotionally defined, we're dialed in to the frequencies of energies that we hold. The fourth part of the review is that the quality of the emotions you generate determines the quality of your frequency of energy. So the quality of your emotional energy, it influences the quality of your frequency of energy. So if you're feeling, if you're grieving, if you're sad, if you're angry, if you're despairing or depressed, it affects your vibrational frequency. This is not with judgment, by the way, because the human experience is always going to have this spectrum of emotional dynamics. It's built into our hardwiring that we have variability in our emotional response, and that's good. That's important. That means you're alive, right? And if you're not experiencing emotional variability, then you're dead. So we like being alive. It's a good thing. So the quality of your emotional frequency determines the quality of your vibrational frequency. It's not about the day-to-day fluctuations or the hour-by-hour fluctuations that we're so concerned about. When we are coaching people, we're really more concerned about assessing their baseline frequency. Where do they tend to hang out vibrationally? Or where do you tend to hang out vibrationally? Are you generally in joy, in a high frequency state, or are you generally struggling, wrestling, having challenges? And what's sort of the average place, the midpoint of where you tend to hang out? That's the creative space. It is natural, and those of you who are emotionally defined, you know this. It's natural to have variability in your emotional energy and to have cycles. And when you are having emotional cycles, that doesn't mean you're discreating everything you've created. It's not the variation on the daily basis or even on a weekly basis. It's the baseline frequency. What is the median place? What is the median midpoint place that you tend to hang out in between the ups and the downs or the highs and the lows? So I'm saying this especially for the emotionally defined people, because oftentimes we get afraid when we start to have negative emotions that we're uncreating what we're creating. You're not. It's not about the fluctuations. It's about the baseline. Number 5, here's the 5th part of the review. Your emotional frequency calibrates the electromagnetic resonance field of the heart and the magnetic monopole. So your frequency of energy, again, the baseline, not the up and down daily fluctuation, the baseline frequency of your emotional energy calibrates the heart. It puts you hopefully in a state of coherence where your mind and your body are functioning together in a fluid way. If it's not putting you in a state of coherence, if you're in a discoherent or incoherent state energetically, then the challenge becomes, how do I create a different quality of emotional resonance so that I can bring my heart, my mind, my body back into a coherent state so that I can be more attractive, so I can pull into my experience things that match what I really want, not the things that are perhaps triggering fear in me or other kinds of emotional energies. Okay, so that emotional frequency calibrates the heart. It programs that electromagnetic resonance field in the heart, and it's going to influence what you experience, what you attract, what you notice in your life. And you can, number 6, you can influence what you attract and create by virtue of learning how to consciously harness this emotional frequency of energy. So I'll see if I can show you guys this slide. There you go. I'll see if you can see this slide. This is the mechanics of heart resonance. So if you go to the top at the head center and the ajna, you'll see thoughts create neurotransmitters, which stimulate an emotional response. That's over here on the solar plexus, which calibrates the heart, mostly the G center, but also the will, and of course your own sense of value, how your self-worth, which is a little bit what we talked about yesterday, is going to also influence what you're willing to allow yourself to receive. So, all right, your thoughts, part of the review, are stimulated by questions. That's what I'm going to post a video on later. So your brain, your mind is not designed to figure things out. It's designed to question things. And it's through the process of questioning that we actually seed our material world, if you will, the world outside of ourselves. And that seed begins to stimulate signs and signals that help us determine what's the next right step, what's the next thing to do. And of course, for all of us, even our manifestor types, that means you're dancing, if you will, with the material world. You're letting the outer world and your inner alignment with the outer world show you when it's the right time and what the next right step is. So you don't have to figure things out. What you have to do is use the mind and the power of the mind to question things and to stay in a state of wonder and curiosity and awe, and let that outer reality reveal to you the answer to the questions that you're exploring. So number 3, what we seed is determined by the questions we ask and by what you imagine. Your imagination also, of course, is stimulating the realm of possibility and influencing what you attract into your life. Because, as you know, what you imagine creates neurotransmitters. Number 4, this is 4 around thoughts. Your thoughts and imaginings are influenced by your personal ancestral memories, your epigenes, and the stories you tell about who you think you are. To manage your thoughts with consciousness, you sometimes have to rewrite the narrative of who you think you are. And of course, we talked a little bit about that this week when we talked about coaching skills, that storytelling, literally storytelling and doing creative projects, is a very powerful way to begin the process of shifting personal narrative so that you can start to manage your thoughts and manage your narrative in such a way that it becomes more expansive, more compelling, and it shifts your point of attraction. All right, let's talk about emotional energy. Emotions are influenced by our environment and the energy we cultivate. You know, I am here in Minnesota today. It is springtime. It's quite lovely and beautiful. I'm actually outside, which is good because it's the only place my phone works. And it makes my emotional energy really lovely. Right? I'm happy to be out here in the warmth, in the sun. Number 2, the baseline frequency of your emotional energy is what's most important. So we've talked about that already. It's not the daily fluctuations, it's the baseline that's essential. Number 3, let's talk about the heart. Actually, it's not number 3. Now we're going to talk about the heart. Again, all the components of this creative process. Reminders here. Your heart is calibrated in response to your emotions. Number 2, it's also calibrated with the quality of love that you experience. And if we look at the G center, and I'll post this image for you later. I'll show it to you right now, though, because that worked kind of well. If we look at the G center, you'll see that the gates of the G center give us codes, if you will, to how to activate a higher frequency of love. So the G center tells us through the gate 10 that we're designed to love ourselves, through the gate 7 that we're designed to be empowered, through the gate 1 that we're designed to make a creative and unique contribution to the world that is the fulfillment of who we are. The gate 13 tells us that we are here to let go of the past on a daily basis and rewrite our narrative however we choose. The gate 25 says we are here to be deeply connected to spirit and to take part of our direction in life from our connection to the love of spirit and the love that spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, has for you. The gate 46 says that we are designed to love the body and to honor it and take care of it and keep it to the best of our ability in a state of vitality. The gate 2 says we are designed to take direction in such a way that we position ourselves to receive all the support that we know we are willing to create. And the Gate 15 teaches us that a key influencer in the love that we experience in the world is our compassion, our fellowship, and our love for not only ourselves and each other, but for our divine siblings, all of humanity. So if we translate that into the voices, if you will, of the G Center, the voices of the G Center says, I love myself, I decide, I choose, I tell my own story, I trust source, I embody my spirit, I allow and I am grateful and I share. And actually what we know, and this is actually research that I've done with my own dissertation as part of my PhD program, is that these words in this particular slide are high frequency words. These are words that actually open the heart center when we say them and shift our point of attraction and bring us into a state of coherence. So anytime you're starting to feel like you're losing coherence, you're getting dysregulated emotionally, these words, saying these words, I actually have them in my bathroom on my bathroom mirror. Saying these words can actually help regulate the emotional center. So the words, I love, I choose, I decide, I am, I forgive, I serve, I am vital, I am supported, and I am compassionate. These are, again, the voices, the phrases, the language of the G Center. So the more connected we are to love and to our authentic self, the more influence we have over what we create, the more influence we have over our emotional well-being, our emotional regulation, and the more we can maintain a high quality, high frequency baseline emotional energy. And that baseline emotional energy allows us to create abundantly in a happy way from a state of coherence. And of course, we are happiest and most abundant and most magical in our current awareness when we are creating in alignment with our energy blueprint, our human design, with our soul purpose and with our life purpose. And part of what you're going to do as a coach is help connect people to not only their human design, but to be able to really look at the chart and see what's the soul purpose in the chart, what's the life purpose in the chart, and what are actionable steps that your clients can take to start shifting and changing their point of attraction, give them the skill set to learn how to regulate themselves emotionally, change and shift their mindset and their narrative, and move themselves into a much more expansive, higher state of creative fulfillment. The key is being consistent, because consistency actually builds the muscle to be able to stay in this process of have a thought, pay attention to the emotional energy, use the emotional energy to calibrate the heart, ask good questions, see how you can create more, expand more, ask better questions, imagine more, create more emotional energy, continue to expand on a state of coherence, keep bringing things into your life and exploring with curiosity, wonder, and awe what those things are like. So the quality of your energy influences what you create, and of course the timing of what you create. And of course, the entire attraction process, bringing it back around to what we talked about yesterday, is going to be highly influenced by your self-worth. How valuable, how precious, how clear are you about your unique, vital, and irreplaceable role in the cosmic plan? And how aligned are your thoughts and your actions with your sense of value and the emotional energy you're generating? All right, quick tips. This is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. What can you do to develop a practice to keep your emotional energy regulated, to manage and work with the power of your imagination, your dreams, your thoughts? What can you do to cultivate a practice of exploring the world with curiosity, wonder, and awe, and asking great questions in response to what shows up? Here you go. You ready? Stay in your aligned story. Tell a good narrative that really speaks to who you are. Manage your thoughts and your emotions. Again, you're allowed to have stinking thinking days. You're allowed to have bad days, but don't hang out there. Keep consciously working on bringing yourself back to a healthy baseline. Take care of your environment. Make sure you're putting yourself in an environment that really supports and sustains you. Open your heart. Do practices that keep your heart open, including things like hanging out with your dog and your cat and your grandkids and kids, and getting enough sleep and eating well and doing yoga and doing all those things that keep our heart open. Always give yourself permission to recalibrate and recreate. You're never screwing it up. You're never failing. You're just recalibrating and recreating. Ask good questions. What else is possible? What can I create here? How could this be fun? How could I get more of this? Choose what feels good. When things show up in your life, do the things that feel good and right and see what shows up and do it all again. All right, that's it for this day, for Thursday. Tomorrow we're going to go back to working on our life purpose template. We're going to be, I believe tomorrow, I'm not sure, but I think tomorrow we're working on the conscious sun and what the conscious sun tells you about your chart. So last week we worked on profiles, before that we worked on types. So tomorrow we'll start looking at your conscious sun, the gate in your conscious sun, and how that impacts your purpose and the meaning of your life. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you learned something new or had a good reminder, and I hope your day technologically is going better than mine. All right, bye.